As the breadbasket of the world, America produces more corn and soybeans than any other country. But without the seeds to start each season, farmers would have nothing to grow. I pedaled to Sargeant, Minnesota to meet John Steele, a seed farmer with an almanac's knowledge dating back to his first crop over a half-century ago.
The best bag of corn at that time was DeKalb XL45A.
For decades, John has taken pride in growing the seed that becomes next year's harvest. John's reputation for delivering top-quality corn and soybean seed earns him price premiums that can double his farm's profits. But raising seed requires extraordinary care.
Because premium seed quality soybean is going to be put into a planter, it has to be immaculate.
At the start of the season, John's wife Marge plows fields to keep the dirt free of unwanted plants and insects. During harvest, John's son Chris scans the crop to prevent weeds or debris from entering the combine. After the seed is harvested, John drives a truck filled with his crop to the processing plant. There, the seeds require careful handling to prevent cracking.
This bucket elevator was designed for potato chips. If it can handle potato chips, then it shouldn't hurt any of the soybeans.
The care given to seed beans is impressive, and so is the care members of John's community give to each other. In fact, John once hired a girl to scout fields. She would later save his life.
It's important to have a weed-free field. 40 years ago, we'd walk the fields. And I had a lot of great high school age kids available. And decades later, when I was getting gas, my heart must have quit. And of course, when your heart quits, you don't crumple. I guess you fall over like a tree. Immediately, somebody called Mayo 1, which is the Mayo Clinic helicopter. It was flying to a fair and it was right over me. So just like, boop, boop. Here, the nurse on the chopper is one of those girls that used to work for me.
This story may be a miracle, but strong individuals have always been a cornerstone of rural America, and Steele Farms' mascot is no exception. There's a certain Muppet on the truck. How did that get there?
Well, that's Miss Piggy. That's not just a certain Muppet. I mean, that's the real deal. I love Miss Piggy because she's a dame with attitude, and I've got a dame with attitude, and I like her, so.
Yeah. It's times like tonight when we saw that sunset when you're out on the tractor. I said, as long as I can climb up in the tractor, I'll still do it. Someday they might have to pick me up in the loader tractor and put me in the cab, but there again, you gotta do what you gotta do when you gotta do it, so we all pitch in.
Just as John's community is dedicated to helping each other, Steele Farms is dedicated to helping feed the world, one seed at a time.
It takes a lot of fields to grow the food that feeds the world.
And it takes a lot of seeds to plant those fields.
Couldn't do any of it without the Steeles.
A farmer's farmer, you might say.
You might. Thank you for riding with us today.
And see you in the fields ahead.